Well, first of all, thank you for everyone for being here. Super excited to be a part of the Big 12 Conference. Can't tell you how excited personally I am, and our players are super excited to be a part of the best men's basketball conference in the country. And, you know, without a doubt, it has been 5 of the last 6 years. You look at the respect this league has earned. You look at the top 25 poll coming into this season, and 31% of our men's basketball teams are ranked in the top 10. And I think that tells you a lot about this conference. You know, we've always had the mentality as a program, and certainly as a head coach, bring on the competition. And when you look around, so many historic programs, unbelievable venues, the pomp and circumstance that goes behind with our fan bases is absolutely second to none. So we're really excited to be a part of this thing. I'm really excited about our team. You know, obviously, you know, we're not picked where you want to be picked, being in the spot that we were picked, but there's nowhere to go but up. I'm really excited about the guys in our program. You know, we have great connectivity. You know, I just heard TJ talking earlier, and they returned a bulk of their guys. We're in the opposite boat. We returned 31% of our scoring, 30% of our minutes played. So there's a lot of newness to our program. We have 9 new guys in our program, but you would never know that if you came to one of our practices. The connectivity and the togetherness that these guys exude, the chemistry that they have both in the locker room and on the floor. It's hard to describe it, but you just know it when you feel it. And I've been around this game for a long time, 29 years going on 30. It's gonna be my 14th year as a head coach. And so, you know, there's nowhere to go but up per se. You know, I've been, like I said, 13 years as a head coach. 2 different times we've been picked last at a couple different spots, and it's been a great omen for us. One year we went to the national tournament, and the other year we won the regular season conference championship. So, you know, but we got to go earn respect. That's the bottom line, is you got to earn respect and make that happen. And super excited about this group. I think we have I know we have a great style of basketball. It's a fun style, a lot of connectivity, a lot of freedom that we give our guys to play. And we pride ourselves on a GATA mentality. And GATA is it's an old football acronym, get after their butts. And so these guys have demonstrated that and exuded that. And there's a lot of work to be done, but we're excited where we're going. And with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Yes, we will. Remember to raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Give us your name and your affiliation. We're going to start over here on the right.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, what's up, Myron?
You have a stretch in February where you go to West Virginia, and then you go to Cincy. You come back, you host the Kansas schools, and then you go to UCF and Arizona. How are you preparing your team just for this travel dynamic in this expanded league?
Well, it's a great question. You know, I was just talking to our director of ops yesterday on the way here. When we play at UCF, for example, you know, you got to stop and refill on the charter. And when you add it all together with the time zone change, that's an 8-hour, it's 8 hours. You leave at noon, you're landing at 8 p.m. And so, but that's just part of it, right? Like, you got to adapt and adjust. You got to be strategic. Really try to figure, you know, are we going to leave the day before the game or 2 days before? How do we want to do it? We're going to practice when we get there. We're going to practice it, because that's a big change. So we're working through all that. You know, obviously you alluded to West Virginia, Cincinnati. I think we play West Virginia on a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, and at Cincinnati on a Tuesday. And so same, you know, sort of thing. We're working through that. But listen, it's the same for everybody. I mean, a little bit more for us when you're a mountain time zone going to the east versus when you're in the middle of the, you know, the country. But they have to do the same with us, right? And come out and play us and play at altitude. And there's some things that go along with that. So at the end of the day, we're a no excuse program. We're going to put our guys in the best position to succeed in all facets. And so we're working through that all right now, but certainly it's another unique challenge.
Okay, we've got 2 questions, one here in the middle and one on the 4th row over here. Over here on the left, yes.
Coach, Pat Rooney from the Boulder Daily Camera. Year 2, you've got Lawson Lovering in the mix. What more do you maybe expect out of him? Does his role change at all with Brendan Carlson gone?
Well, hey, Pat, great question. First of all, we love Lawson. Lawson's an amazing person. He's a really good player. I thought he made tremendous strides this summer and this fall. Our new assistant coach, Josh Eilert, who is, the interim head coach at West Virginia last year, coaches our big guys, and he's done a tremendous job with him. And Lawson has just a tremendous attitude, an attitude that craves improvement. He really wants to be good. But one thing, we just talked about this with our team, Lawson cares about one thing. He wants to win. He's a high achiever. And so I thought he's really taken the next step. He's moving way better. He's become a better athlete, a lot stronger. He's very, very physical. I expect him to score more for us and take a big step forward. But then he has some traits that, don't always show up in a stat sheet, maybe reporters or fans don't always appreciate, but his ability to pass, he's a phenomenal defensive player. His ability to understand spacing on both ends of the floor is really, really high level. And he just impacts winning in a major way. Guys love playing with him. I always ask guys, who do you like playing with? Almost to a man, Lawson Levering is the guy they say. So he's had a great offseason. He's clearly improved in all facets of his game and excited for him for this season.
Okay, we're going to go here to the middle on the front row.
Hey, Coach. Matthew Postins, Heartland College Sports. I wanted to ask, how much preparation did you guys put into learning about the 12 teams in this conference over the summer? Did you break down film? Did you divide it up between coaches? What was your process in trying to get prepared for all this?
Yeah, great question. In a lot of ways, you feel like you're, as a coach, you're in some ways, in some respects, you feel like you're starting over. You're learning a whole new league. I think this league has helped with recruiting. People want to be a part of the best league in the country. But we put a lot of time into it. When our summer, of course we have some familiarity. Last year we played Houston, right? And you see, you can't help but not find Big 12 teams on TV, no matter what. And so you're always paying attention to it. And of course in the NCAA tournament, you see these teams all the time. We played BYU last year as well. So, but when summer was done, we did a lot of research on the stats, where they are nationally, right, where the teams are, where the league is as a whole. And then when we were done with our 8 weeks of the summer, we have a lot of new coaches, assistant coaches on our staff. They left to get moved to Salt Lake City, and it was really quiet. And I just literally sat and watched every team in our league, 3 to 4 games of each team, and really just kind of statted everything out and did like a mini scouting report on every team. And so done a lot of research on it. It's a different brand of basketball than the Pac-12, right, over the last 3 years that we were used to, but it's exciting at the same time. And there's some things that you really have to do in this league to have success. It's an incredibly physical league. Like, you got to really defend and rebound, right? There's not a lot of fouls called, and that's not a good or bad thing. That's the style of play. And so you got to be able to adapt and adjust to that. Certainly looked at some of that stuff as well beforehand with the recruiting phase, right? And understanding what we need to have success that way, while at the same time recruiting to our brand of basketball and what's going to be successful for the running Utes. So like I said at the top, really excited to be a part of this, be a part of this conference and put our best foot forward.
Okay, our last two questions are both here in the middle. The first one's on the back row.
Coach Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review. What are your thoughts on Keanu Dawes and how he's adjusting to the program?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. We love KD. Keanu is the ultimate teammate. He's trending like this. I think especially it's amazing just even looking back at pictures when he first came to campus, right? And where he is now, just from a physical standpoint. Like, this dude's a relentless competitor. He loves the game. Like, sometimes guys, basketball finds them. He found basketball. And, he's a really versatile guy at 6'9". We recruited him out of high school. He's got kind of a unique story. He grew up in Utah, right? He moved to Houston, I think, as a 7th grader when our practice facility, which is about approximately 10 years old, when he was a little, 5th or 6th grader, he has a picture in front of our practice facility. So that was really cool. I think when he made his announcement, he posted that picture. But every man in our program would tell you they love playing with KD. He's about all the right things. He's relentless. He's in the gym all the time. He's one of those guys, this is a good problem to have. You almost got to tell him to rein it back slightly, Not that we do that, but it's like, dude, like he's constantly in the game. He's obsessed about the game, and he's obsessed about being the best that he can be. And so we had a close scrimmage the other day. I thought he played outstanding. He makes others better, and his upside is through the roof. So we're super excited. He's only a sophomore. We're really excited about him being in our program.
Yeah, our last question's here in the middle on the third row.
Yeah, Coach Kevin Sweeney, Sports Illustrated. You alluded a little bit to it with recruiting and maybe the physicality of the Big 12 changing what you were looking for. Can you elaborate more on that and what changed for you guys in terms of what you were looking for this spring?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the league is so good. I mean, when you have 5 teams ranked and I've seen various polls and, where I think we've had 9 or 10 in the top 25, but it's a physical, rugged league, and you know that. So you got to play with physicality. You got to have strength. We've always recruited to size. I think 2 years I was at Utah State. We had the tallest team in the country. We've always prided ourselves on being a very physical team, having that physicality, but yet having great skill. That's hard to find. Everybody's trying to get that, but I think we've done a good job over the years of identifying that and being able to do it. But it's going to be like, it's a different notch. All high major basketball is physical, but certainly this, it's a different level. And we like to say it's big boy basketball, right? And so, expect the foul, not the call, right? So the number of times our guys have heard that over the last 8 months or whatever, it's been a lot, but that's just the truth. And so, you got to be able to make tough guy plays. And in any league of basketball, but especially this league, like the toughest team usually wins the game. And so we got to pride ourselves in having great toughness, both physically and mentally.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, guys. Go Utes.